Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Rani Irvanita from TBI, and here I want to explain about 5 the best techniques for studying. What are you doing right now? Maybe you waste time, review the test material, highlighting, repetition, and repetition. This study is tactic for you. The sense is very clear. Recent study tend move and visual than others. Certain study techniques are more beneficial than others. In this video, you're going to develop a significant advantage over the rest of your class, your friends, and your peers. You're going to learn the 5 best techniques for studying effectively in less time than anyone else. Now, if you want to sing and you want to be a master student, it's while you watch you're going to take action immediately. In this video is the first in a free 5-part video course on becoming the most remarkable student that you can be, a motivation to study, and you want this information to be available to anyone, anywhere, and no cost, because we believe you shouldn't have to pay for this. It should have been taught to you in your school, in your lesson, and since 2000 we got to cover it. Okay, let's get into it. Did you know there are people out there so good at remembering things that they compete tournaments of learning and they're known as memory athletes in annual contest called the World Memory Championship. They were given 20 minutes to remember a list of 72 random words. In the memory, experts scored nearly 71 and 72 words. And at 99 years old, he recited 111 to 7,000 digits of P from memory. Imagine the power of having a memory like that. And starting today, I want to imagine yourself of one of them. You are not just a student, teenager of grad, but you are a memory athlete. You're going to become someone with such power over your mind that you can recall pages of notes, equation formulas that you need without the endless house of beating information into your head. But how? Did you need any gift? Can you learn it? Actually, you already have. Picture it with a spoon in your kitchen, the soak in your room, the color of your toothbrush. This memory at least use an ancient Greek technique called memory places, and once you master this technique, you too are going to dramatically improve your ability to study effectively. And finally, open up your dormant result of memory. The idea is simple. You walk through an environment like your house, and you place an object in specific place, and then you match and things you want to learn with those objects. So where you are trying to remember that information, it knows you took that in your class. You don't just think back your notes. You think of where those notes are, your host, which object did you attack it to, was the color, and you replay this until become crystal clear in your mind. This technique is not new information on the something that your brain has already developed to explain extremely well. We call imaginary specific location. And the second technique for thousands of years, people have known that the best way to understand the concept explained to someone else. The second technique I want to introduce you to is also known as the project effect, aka teach someone what you want to learn. According to a 2007 study, look at this: how does teaching someone impact your learning? In the study, you will also teach you to young students. They score higher on tests than pupils who are learning only for their own sake. Why? But the risk had found when you choose to teach someone else. You have to work hard to understand the material, to record it more actually, and apply to more effectively. Not something known as that of processing. Physicist Robert Feynman created a mental model called the Feynman technique. Now some of you may have already seen videos about this on YouTube. This technique has both steps to it. Number 1, write the name of a concept of the talk a blank. Number 2, write down the next explanation if you are teaching someone else. Number 3, identify what is missing, then go back and learn it in the next 4. Review everything and simplify as much as you can. Now this technique uses a short disgruntled and then reconstruct ideas. To use this method online, how to study effectively, identify first what do you want to learn, and then try to imagine you explain to us 5 years old. Most of the students are committed to effective study strategy, but another student are ineffective study strategy. If I ask you right now, is reading again and again is a good way to learn? Is highlighting to your note is good way to learn? Is using keyword money but one of these days scientifically proven to be relatively low in effectiveness of a long-term learning? And the other end of the scale, things like practice test reading out your learning, like they are scientifically proven to boost your performance. Let's take a look. In 2005, a Gecko Dragon Ukraine assassin 200 to 29 students using 111 different techniques of study, then matched that techniques with the final exam score, and many of the techniques they used they did achieve that her exam scores. For example, the number of hours they put in did help, but things like starting study early, reading material before and after class didn't seem to be effective, and also fun determined to study, and one of them was listening music. So what did you find that does work? Will Reagan actually found a technique that strongly predicted your exam score? Is that was the number of time a student did practice tests. This one thing above all other had a significant impact on how well they did on the final exam. He even found that rewriting, not reviewing, highlighting material did it really impact the final exam score that much. Like Excite, master students are committed to effective study strategy, but another student ineffective study strategy. If you want to know which type of student, you can watch the YouTube to find out if you master a doubles or shipwreck castaway when it come your study. Not the old hostel is create equal. Number 4, you remember unfinished tasks better than tasks you complete. Why? Don't we start a task and then interrupt this? They create a task specific tension can improve your cognitive tension. The step away from your day cause you still need that I need attention that you feel. I still need to finish reviewing that sort of I have done the next paper yet. It keeps the task off top of your mind. It keeps your brain focused on it. This way you can easily access that information and remember it better. How do you take advantage of these techniques? You take frequent breaks during your deep that thus aging advice suggests that students would take break during which they perform totally unrelated activities. Budding other subject, reading a book at work, playing piano. They remember material better than students who go through long study session without taking a break. The popular way I'm sure most of you are part of is the Pomodoro technique, or you work for 25 minutes, you take a 5 minute to break. The cramming is better than not studying the short term. And the final tips, it's last lesson in our course. Cramming is better than not studying in the short term. What is 7 hours in one day? The other 1 hour every day for a week. If you are given the same amount of time to study, would you be better off you spreading out? The answer is a resounding yes. Space it out. This is known as a distributed practice. Do you think learning over time, either in a single study session or across study session, benefit? Number 5, distributed learning, especially study out and how general are the effect, how consist well one group of scientific look at 2054 studies involving the 14,000 people and every student relate more than at the space study that after growing math study. Play look at Enderful. The day you have to do what work for you, having family around, replying to message on your smartphone, missing class, having the TV on. This is not gonna helping you, but doing practice test. Get it, sleep on time. That's the way. 5 the best techniques for studying. And I'm sorry for my mistake. And that's my explain about the techniques for studying. I'm sorry for my mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.